Hey guys, welcome back to the channel. This is a story of what if Naruto has Saitama's powers, One Punch Man. Let's see how everything changes if Naruto was OP from the beginning. Let's begin now. Chapter 7. 2 weeks had passed since Naruto's first mission. And in that time, Naruto had learned the Shadow Clone Jutsu and its variants. Yugao even showed him the Shadow Clone's unique trait. So, I learn what they do? Naruto asked. He and Yugao were standing in an empty training field. She had brought him here after realizing that he had mastered, or at least could do it better than most people she had seen, the Shadow Clone Jutsu. Pretty much. When one of your shadow clones dispel or are destroyed. Fat chance of that happening. Their experience becomes yours. Does that mean I can use them to exercise more? What? Like, if I create 2 clones, and they each do 10,000 push-ups. When they dispel, do I get the benefit of 20,000 push-ups? Sigh. Naruto, answer me honestly. What is your workout regimen? Oh. I just do 20,000 push-ups, sit-ups, and squats a day. Followed by a 50-mile run. Why? Yugao's right eye started to twitch. She knew that she shouldn't have been surprised, no matter what he said. But, 20,000. It's no wonder he's so strong. Doing that amount of exercise a day, along with the Kyuubi healing him at a rapid pace. His body must have surpassed what could be considered normal a long time ago. Grown? No. It doesn't work that way. If you were just trying to learn a new exercise, it would. But you wouldn't really get a benefit from it otherwise. The shadow clones don't pass along any physical training they do. Oh. That sucks. Sigh. This workout maniac will be what finally drives me insane. 10 years as an Anbu and this blonde brat will be what finally does me in. Yugao thought to herself. Naruto, let's see how many clones you can form at once. Don't worry if it's only a few. Most Jonin can only form 3 at the most. Right, he said with a nod. He crossed his fingers into the right hand seal. Shadow Clone Jutsu. Fuck it. I don't care anymore. Yugao turned and stormed away from where Naruto and his 5,000 clones were standing. What's the matter, Yugao-sensei? They all asked. Gah. Don't do that. I'm going to talk to the Hokage. You stay here and work on whatever. Yes, Yugao-sensei. Hokage Tower. Yugao stormed inside the Hokage Tower. She only stopped at his assistant's desk to let her know she was going in as a courtesy, before she kicked open the doors to the Hokage's office. Hokage-sama. I want to resign as Naruto's sensei. She yelled. An angry look on her face. Hiruzen looked up from his paperwork for a moment at her outburst, before simply going back to work. I won't stop you if you want to resign, Yugao. Kami knows I need all the loyal Anbu I can get. But I thought you liked working with Naruto. Hiruzen signed the paper he had been reading, before setting it aside, picking up his pipe, and giving Yugao his full attention. Yugao's look of anger had slowly drained from her face after arriving in the office. And now all that remained of it was a slight glare. I do like working with him. Despite his eccentricities, Naruto is a good kid, she admitted, even her glare dissipating until all that remained was a look of exhaustion. I fail to see the problem then. Why are you resigning? Because he's too strong already. I have nothing to teach him that would be useful at this stage. The only thing I can really teach him is how to wield a sword. But he hasn't shown any interest in swordsmanship. Puffing. Yugao, do you know why I picked you to be his sensei? No, sir. I do not. I picked you because you were loyal to a fault, and one of the most hard-working Jonin I have ever had the pleasure of knowing. But, more importantly, I picked you because you are kind. You don't judge people based on their backgrounds or status. You judge them on who they are and not what they are. He took another puff of his pipe. Exhale. I picked you because I knew that you wouldn't treat Naruto as just the Kyuubi's container. I knew you would treat him as what he really is. A child. A very powerful child. But a child, nonetheless. And you've done that, haven't you? Yes, Hokage-sama. But what? He scares me sometimes. Not on purpose, I'm sure. But I've seen what that child is truly capable of. The destruction he could cause, should he decide to go rogue. Doesn't that worry you as well? Not a day goes by, that I don't have those same thoughts. You know, I've watched over that boy since he was given to me by his mother. Hiruzen grew slightly misty-eyed. His parents were some of the best people I'd ever known. They were as dear to me as my own family. And when they died, I wept. Me, the god of shinobi, and I cried like a child for hours after they died. Hiruzen reached below his desk and retrieved a bottle of sake. Would you like some? You know what, sure. He poured her a glass, then himself. I never wanted this job back. When I retired, I swore to Bawako that I was done with the ninja life. The two of us would retire together and leave everything to the fourth. But, you know how that story ended. He died saving us from the Kyuubi. Puff, indeed he did. He gulped down his sake. Before pouring himself another. Every day, I look out that window. And I think of all the regrets that I've accumulated over the years. However, watching Naruto grow is not one of them. I don't regret watching him get stronger. Because I know that one day, he'll need that strength to protect himself. He drank some of his sake, then he sat the glass down. But, another part of me fears he has gotten so strong. The village may pay the price for my attachment, as Danzo would call it. Should Naruto go rogue, none of his classmates will be able to stop him. Actually, I don't think there's a ninja in the village that could stop him. But, do you know what is protecting this village from that fate? No, Hiruzen smiles. He cares about the people in this village. Maybe not all of them, sure. But he does care for some of them. And because they live here, Naruto will protect this village with his life. He says it's his ninja way. To protect those he cares about. It's why he sought that strength, to begin with. He had people he wanted to protect. So, what happens if all of his precious people are taken from him? Hiruzen's eyes grew wide and his nostrils flared. I pity the fool who would dare take what Naruto holds dear. Urgent knocking. Hokage-sama. Emergency contact from Team Guy. Come in. The assistant opened the door and hurriedly walked over to the desk. This scroll came not 5 minutes ago, Hokage-sama. Hiruzen took the scroll, sliced the ribbon holding it closed and quickly read through it. Yugao, get Naruto and report back here in 10 minutes. Hiruzen ordered. Yes, Hokage-sama. 10 minutes later, your mission is to rescue Team Guy. 2 of their number have been injured and captured. The others managed to escape to send this message and are awaiting backup. Who was captured? Might Guy and Tenten are the captured ninja. How was Guy captured? He's an elite Jonin. Yugao, the report says that Miss Tenten was captured first and held hostage by a man claiming to be Aoi Rokusho. As in the one who stole the legendary Sword of the Thunder God. Yugao, the very same. It says that Aoi threatened to kill Miss Tenten unless Guy surrendered himself. After Guy surrendered, he signaled for the other 2 to escape and request backup. Quote. Is that everything, Hokage-sama? Yes. These are the coordinates for your meet-up with the remaining members of Team Guy. The land of tea. Puffs, you 2 should hurry. Who knows what Aoi will do to Guy and Tenten? Yes, Hokage-sama. Yugao and Naruto saluted. They then ran to the window and jumped out, landing on a nearby roof. You heard Hokage-sama, Naruto. We have to get there fast. Does that mean you want me to? Sigh, I can't believe I'm saying this. But yes, I want you to jump while carrying me. Yada. Hang on Yugao-sensei. Naruto scooped her up in a bridal carry, bent his knees, and jumped. People all over the village could hear Yugao scream as she and Naruto soared over the village walls. With Team Guy, earlier Team Guy had been on a simple escort mission from Konoha to the land of tea. Their client was a wealthy merchant who was apparently part of the Wasabi family. Oh, I'm sure you 4 will love it. The tea houses are amazing, the beaches are beautiful. As are the women, he snickered. And it's incredibly peaceful there this time of year. Did you hear that, Guy-sensei? Beaches mean oceans, and oceans mean swim training. Indeed it does, my youthful apprentice. If we cannot swim around the island of tea 10 times, then we must do 500 push-ups. And if we can't do that, then we must do 1000 squats. If we cannot do that. Tenten pulled Neji and the client's horse that he was riding further ahead until they were just out of earshot. I apologize for my sensei and my teammate. They can be a bit weird. Laughs, don't mind it, miss. I find their enthusiasm to be quite refreshing. Enthusiasm, right. Tenten shook her head while Neji just remained his normal stoic self. The five had continued on their journey for 5 days until they came to the boat that would take them to the land of tea, where they boarded and continued on to the island country. 3 days at sea was the tail end of their journey. And everything was going fine. Until they departed the boat. I'm sure you'll enjoy yourselves while you're here. In fact, why don't I show you around to. Thud an arrow was shot at the client from the nearby tree line. We're under attack. Lee, Neji, we're going to be the rear guard. Tenten, you're up front with the client. Move, move, Guy ordered. Tenten hopped on the horse with the client and took off. Guy, Lee, and Neji ran behind them, deflecting arrows as they went. At one point, 2 bandits ran out in front of the horse in an attempt to stop it. Not likely. Tenten yelled as she pulled out several throwing knives. She threw them with pinpoint accuracy into the eyes of the bandits in the way. Then Guy and Lee finished them off as they ran past. Guy performed a spinning heel kick to one's head, while Lee snapped the other's neck. They ran for several more minutes, with the horse pulling slightly further ahead. Hey, slow down, we're getting too far ahead of my teammates. Tenten yelled. I can't. The horse isn't listening to me. Sure enough, the merchant was pulling back on the reins. But the horse was ignoring him. The two pulled even further ahead, until Tenten decided to grab the merchant and jump off of the horse. The two hit the ground and rolled to a stop, with the merchant landing on Tenten just in time to see several senbon pierce the horse's side. Horse whines. The horse fell to the ground unable to move. And a man with blue hair and purple eyes stepped out of the shadows. In his left hand was a large umbrella. You weren't supposed to dodge that, the man said as he pointed his umbrella at Tenten and the merchant. Guy, who had seen most of what happened, increased his speed in an attempt to reach his pupil in time, leaving his other 2 students trailing behind slightly. Pop *, pop. The man slightly squeezed the handle of his umbrella, causing senbon to shoot into the merchant and Tenten's legs. Wah. What was that? Tenten slurred as she passed out. The man quickly walked over to where they were laying and pointed his umbrella at their heads just in time for Guy to reach him and kick him away. The man's umbrella took the brunt of the damage as he had raised it in time to block Guy's kick. But it still sent him tumbling back a ways. Tenten, are you alright? Guy yelled as he tried to wake her up, after rolling the merchant off of her. Ah, a Konoha shinobi. I was wondering which village he would hire on his way back. The man said. What did you do to Tenten? Guy stood up and charged at the man. Guy clashed with the man several times. Guy would attempt a kick, the man would dodge. Guy would throw him to the ground, the man would roll back up to his feet in time to block another strike. You whoosh if you don't stop. She hup dies, the man said between dodging strikes. He knew he was done for if he took a direct hit. What did you do? Guy growled. He was desperately trying not to kill this man until he knew what he had done to Tenten. And the client. I poisoned her. Whoa. Stop attacking me. The man yelled. Fix her. Now. Only if you surrender. Yikes. First. That brought Guy's onslaught to a stop. He stood there while glaring at the man. I surrender. You give her the antidote. I give you my word. Quote. Very well. Guy dropped his arms to his sides. The man stared at Guy for a few seconds. PFFT*, dumbass. He launched senbon into Guy's stomach. Most unyouthful. You gave me your word. Guy fell to his knees. I am Aoi Rokusho. And I don't keep my word with Konoha ninja. Or haven't you heard? Laughs Lee and Neji, who had just arrived, saw Guy and Tenten on the ground, and Lee wanted to leap into action. But Neji held him back. Let me go, Neji-san. We must save Tenten and Guy-sensei. And the client. Did they forget about him? Lee, look at Guy-sensei's hand. Lee looked. Guy was signaling the 2 of them in their team's code. Call. 4, back up. He wants us to send word to Konoha about what happened. But we can't just leave them. And we aren't. Neji snarled. We will send words to Konoha about what happened. And while they send back up, we're going to follow them. Neji and Lee had to watch as several large men came out of the trees to pick up their captives. Before carrying them away, Neji and Lee followed them from a safe distance. Thanks to Neji's Byakugan, they only hoped their backup would arrive quickly. Or they were going to save them themselves. The next day the 2 of them were still waiting for backup to arrive. However, thanks to them sneaking inside the camp the previous night, They overheard one of the bandits saying that the plan was to ransom Guy and Tenten back to the village for Guy's bingo book price. Otherwise, they would sell him to another village. Though they also heard that the boss wanted the two of them unharmed. He still kept them paralyzed with the toxin on his Senbon. Didn't want any escape attempts, after all. The merchant had already been ransomed back to his family at the price of 100,000 ryo. So the only hostages they had to save were Guy and Tenten. Don't worry, Lee. The bird should have arrived at Konoha with the emergency request already. We should be getting that back up soon. I hate not knowing what's happening to them. They're fine for now. The two of them are inside a cage at the back of that tent. He's still keeping them paralyzed, though. I just wish our backup would get here already. That's impossible, Lee. It's a 6-day trip even for ninja. So we still have a few days to incoming. Lee and Neji looked up in time to see Naruto. And a very haggard-looking Yugao. On a collision course with them. Dodge. They jumped out of the way. Boom. Naruto landed on his feet in a crouched position. His impact leaving a crater. When he stood up, Yugao pushed herself out of his arms, landing on her knees on the ground. Sweet, sweet ground. I'll never leave you again. She whispered while kissing the dirt. Lee and Neji just stared at Naruto after witnessing his sensei acting so strange. What did you do to her? Neji. She's just being overdramatic. Naruto, overdramatic. You got us here in 5 jumps. 3 of those made this really loud explosion sound as we left the ground. And the last one carried us over an ocean. He broke the sound barrier. Neji, yes, that, Yugao, and Naruto, and, he says. My organs felt like they were going to fall out. Yugao, hee. Sorry. Naruto, sigh, whatever. Team Yugao reporting in. Tell us about the situation. Yugao said after regaining her calm. She still wasn't about to stand up, though. Lee and Neji filled them in on what they learned. I see. You two did well, she said with a smile. Still, hasn't stood up. Where is this camp? Naruto, we'll take you there. The 3 boys started to walk away when they noticed Yugao wasn't moving. Are you coming, sensei? Naruto, I can't feel my legs. She admitted. Lee and Neji sweet-dropped while Naruto rubbed the back of his head. 15 minutes later after Yugao regained the feeling in her legs. The 4 of them made their way over to the camp. I counted 108 bandits. 1 of which is a Jonin level ninja, 2 are Chunin level, and 5 are Genin level ninja. All appear to be from the Hidden Rain village. If we go by their headbands. Neji. I see. What do you think, Naruto? Can you handle the bandits? Naruto just looked at her. His eyes bleeding into a violet color. Sigh, of course, you can. She then looked at Neji and Lee. Do the 2 of you think you can handle the other ninja while I handle Aoi? Yes, ma'am. They responded. All right then. We attack in 10 minutes. She said while checking her equipment. Yosh, let's have a good battle. Right, my youthful companions. Lee Neji looked away. Yugao ignored him. Right. A good battle. Naruto said with a smile. His voice getting deeper near the end. And his eyes going from violet to red with a slit pupil. Chuckles, this'll be fun. With Aoi had been just about to take a nap. When the alarm was triggered. What is it now? He yelled as he stormed outside. Upon exiting his tent, he saw something flash out of the corner of his eye. Sheeing. A blade passed through the space his neck would have been in had he not ducked. More of you Konoha trash, huh? Speak for yourself, Aoi Rokusho. A woman with purple hair said. The least you could do is give me the name of the woman I'm about to kill. He smiled at her. My name is Yugao Azuki. Remember it as I send you to hell. The battle between the Jonin had begun. Neji, Lee, and Naruto. 2 of which were thrown by the 3rd. Landed in the center of the camp. What happened to Stealth, Blondie? Neji, relax, this is more fun. I concur with my scary friend here, Neji-san. It is time for a good fight. Lee knocked his fists together as he charged at the 5 genin that had arrived to block them. Sigh, I'm beginning to see why Yugao-sensei is always sighing, Naruto-san. Neji advanced on the 2 Chunin. Chuckles, looks like the rest of you bastards get my full attention. Before we begin, tell me, what's your health coverage like? Good. One of the bandits charged at him. It must be great. Naruto ran up to him. In his perception, everyone except him had come to an almost complete stop. When he reached the bandit, Naruto threw an easy punch. Whoosh, from the point of contact the bandit's body caved in until it exploded in slow motion. Naruto moved on to the next bandit while keeping an eye on Lee and Neji, who were holding their own against their respective opponents. By the time Naruto had caused 50 of the bandits to explode, Lee had taken down 3 of the genin, who had their bodies broken in various ways. And Neji had killed one of the chunin. Death by broken neck. Looks like I should speed up a bit, Naruto thought while standing still. His perception was already at such a speed that when one bandit exploded it took tens of seconds before his blood hit the ground. In Naruto's eyes, he was standing in a frozen rainstorm of blood. To everyone else though, Naruto was moving around at speeds that destroyed the sound barrier with every movement. His punches were causing the bandits to explode one after another without pause. It was seriously scaring Lee and Neji. But they both wordlessly vowed to hyperventilate later. They were fighting at the moment. Back over with Yugao and Aoi. The two had been fighting for a few minutes before Aoi realized he was outmatched. So he pulled out his trump card. A blade of pure lightning chakra. The appearance of the blade of the thunder god pulled the battle into his favor. Until one of Naruto's punches accidentally sent a bandit head flying over the camp. And a drop of blood landed on Aoi's face. It distracted him for just a second. That second cost him his life though. As Yugao sliced him horizontally in two. Gah! He coughed out blood as his body fell apart. Another slash removed his head. Sigh, I'm out of shape. A guy like that shouldn't have taken so long to kill, she thought. Yugao sealed both Aoi's head and sword into a scroll. She searched Aoi's body for a few seconds before she found a small vial. Then she heading to where Neji said Guy and Tenten were being held. After heading inside and delivering the counter agent, she tested it on a bandit she found cowering before heading inside. She helped the two walk outside the tent and to the center of the camp, where she assumed the 3 genin would be. When they got there, they saw Naruto, shirtless, trying to drain blood out of his clothes, while Neji and Lee were hiding inside some boxes off to the side. Heads poked out to keep an eye on Naruto. Sigh, Naruto. What did I say about scaring your fellow genin? Yugao, Naruto looked up at the sound of her voice. You told me not. 2. He looked over at Neji and Lee, who quickly pulled their heads back inside the boxes. And he realized he may have gone a bit overboard as he looked around at the amount of blood he had spilled. The blood had turned the entirety of the camp's center red. Making 100 people explode will do that. Hee. Sorry. It took Yugao and Guy 10 minutes to convince Lee and Neji to climb out of the boxes. You swear he won't make us explode? Neji, we swear. Naruto was off to the side feeling slightly guilty. So he also swore not to make them explode. After calming down the two genin. Team Guy and Team Yugao went their separate ways. Alright, Yugao sensei. Hang on, no. We are taking the boat this time. Ah, but the boat is boring. Naruto whined. Yugao smiled after Naruto had turned his back. She still wasn't sure if she should stay on as his Jonin sensei. But maybe she would stay for a while longer. It couldn't get much weirder than this. Right. PFFT, yeah right. Anyway, that's another chapter down. Thanks for watching everyone. Chapter 8. After a month of nothing but training and doing, D rank, missions chores *. Team 7 had finally earned their first C rank mission. And that's when things started to go downhill for them. It started out fine. They walked into the Hokage's tower ready to accept another D rank mission when Kakashi decided to speak up. Hokage-sama, might I request a C rank instead? He asked without a moment's hesitation upon seeing Iruka reaching into the D rank shelf. What? Kakashi-senpai, they have only been genin for a month. Iruka and Kakashi, they aren't ready for AC rank yet. The minimum for AC rank is at least 3 months. Iruka, I believe that is Kakashi's decision. Iruka. Hiruzen. But. Sai, yes, Hokage-sama. Iruka, Kakashi, are you sure about this? Hiruzen, I am, Hokage-sama. Very well then. We actually do have an escort C rank that just came in. Hiruzen reached below the desk and pulled out a scroll. After handing it to Kakashi he lit his pipe and looked at Kakashi's students. Sai still looked the same. though he didn't seem to be as stiff as he was the last time Hiruzen had seen him. His smile seemed a little more at ease on his face. Sakura also hadn't changed much. It was Sasuke that had changed. No longer did he have that constant scowl on his face. In fact, he seemed almost content. Like he knew he could do what he had to and he wasn't worried about it any longer. An Uchiha that isn't scowling. I must be either dreaming or did I accidentally eat one of Shikaku's brownies again? Hiruzen wondered. The last time he had eaten a brownie Shikaku brought him. He spent the rest of the day in an almost dreamlike state. Hokage-sama. Kakashi, Oh. What is it, Kakashi? We'll take this one, Hokage-sama. Puff. Very well. Iruka, go get the bridge builder. I'll man the desk for a while. Yes, sir. Iruka left to retrieve the client, leaving the four of them alone in the mission office. How is Naruto, Hokage-sama? Kakashi chuckles. He's doing well, I should think. Aside from driving Yugao to the breaking point a few times. Is Yugao-sensei okay? Sakura, oh, she's fine. She's been dragging Kurenai and Anko out to drink with her every time she returns to the village. But, aside from that, she's fine. That doesn't sound fine. Team 7 all thought. Just then, the door to the mission office opened and Iruka showed an old man in a straw hat who smelled like he was carrying a brewery around with him. Into the office. Puff, Tazuna-san, this is Team 7. And they are to be your escorts home. Hiruzen, what? I paid for Ninja to escort me home. Not, an emo *HNN. A girl with a bad dye job, it's natural, and whatever that kid is. I am Sai. Yeah, good for you kid. Tazuna nodded while drinking from his sake bottle. If you have a problem with the team we provide, you could always pay more for Chunin to escort you home, or you could just leave without an escort and we shall refund your money. Hiruzen said with narrowed eyes. On second thought, I'm sure they are capable of doing the job. Don't mind me, it's the sake talking, haha. The ninja present could see the sweat rolling down Tazuna's face. They also noted his rapid change in opinion once he said they would refund his money and send him alone. They decided to ignore it for now. Team, pack for a 2-week mission. Then meet us at the gate in 1 hour. Dismissed. Kakashi ordered before he left with Tazuna. Sasuke-kun, would you like to go shopping with me? Sakura, no. I have everything I need at home. Sasuke declined. Politely for him. Oh, okay. Come on Sai, we'll just go shopping then and you can carry my stuff. She grabbed Sai's arm and dragged him out of the office without waiting for his approval. Sasuke was the last to leave and he headed home to pack. 2 hours later, Konoha Gate's Tazuna arrived 15 minutes late for their meeting only to find no one there waiting on him. Walking up to the Chunin who were manning the entry point. Have you seen an emo, a girl with pink hair, a creepy pale kid, and a scarecrow? He asked. Oh. You mean Team 7. When was your meeting supposed to be? The Chunin asked. He's obviously answered this question before. 15 minutes ago. The scarecrow said to meet here in an hour. And I was 15 minutes late. They didn't leave already, did they? No, they haven't left yet. Actually, they haven't gotten here yet. What? But he said to meet here in an hour. And they're the ones who are late. Actually, piss for brains. It's only our sensei, that's late. The rest of us are waiting for him to arrive. A voice said from behind Tazuna. After turning around, Tazuna realized that it was the creepy pale kid who had spoken. What did you call me you little shit? Tazuna yelled, his fists clenching. Don't mind Sai. He doesn't mean anything by it. Tazuna looked over Sai's head to see Sakura walking up to them while eating a dango stick. After reaching them, she stuck her hand out for Tazuna to shake. Hi. I'm Sakura Haruno, Genin Kunoichi of Konoha. That's Sai, Genin Shinobi of Konoha. Pleased to meet you, Tazuna-san. She chirped. Right. Tazuna shook her hand. What did you mean by he doesn't mean anything by it? Are you saying he didn't mean to insult me? Giggle. No, he definitely meant to insult you. He's just like that with everyone. Isn't that right, Sai? That's right, washboard chess, *pow. Sakura threw an uppercut with her free hand that sent Sai flying into a tree branch above them. Smiles, sorry about that, Tazuna-san crash groan I'm still learning to control my strength. Our sensei has us on this new workout regimen. And it's really messed up my control. she said before taking another bite of dango. Tazuna looked over at Sai's twitching body. Then back at Sakura's smiling face. Right. Don't piss off, Pinky. He sweet-dropped. A few minutes later, Sasuke arrived on the scene with Kakashi in tow. I found him standing at a magazine stand, this time. Sasuke said once he got close enough to the group. Group Sai, what do you mean, this time? Tazuna, Kakashi-sensei, likes to wander around the village whenever he has an appointment to get to. He calls it, getting lost on the road of life. We call it, him being a lazy bum. Sai. Hey. That's no way to talk to your sensei. Kakashi protested. Prove us wrong then. Nah, I don't really care that much. Group Sai, are we ready to go? Kakashi, yes, sir. They yelled. Alright, Sasuke, you take point. Sakura, you're with me in the middle. And Sai is our rear guard. Let's move out, team. Kakashi ordered. The team plus Tazuna had walked for several hours through the forest on a hot land of fire day. When they spotted a puddle in the middle of the road. You know what's coming up. After stepping over it and continuing on their way. A chain suddenly wrapped around Kakashi's torso and ripped him in half. Girlish scream, Tazuna-san, shut up and calm down. Sasuke snarled. His eyes never leaving the two ninja that attacked their sensei. 1 down, 4 to go, one of the ninja yelled. The two sprinting at the remaining members of Team 7. Once they were in range, they attempted to wrap the chain around Sasuke as they ran by. He dropped to his knees in time to duck it. Then after grabbing the chain in the center, he stuck a kunai through one of the chain links and stabbed it into the ground where he held it down. His move slowed them down a bit, giving Sai enough time to use his ink jutsu to create 2 lions to attack one of the ninja. While Sakura threw kunai and shuriken at the other. Though the ninja Sakura attacked managed to block the weapons thrown at him. His brother wasn't as lucky and was mauled by the lions. Brother. No. Kakashi reappeared with a clothesline to the other ninja's neck. He then held him in a chokehold. Good job, team, he said with a thumbs up and an eye smile. Now, are you going to answer my questions? Or are you going to take the other way out? He asked. I'm not telling you. Shit. Snap. Other way, it is. Kakashi said as he dropped the ninja's now lifeless body. Team 7 then all stared at Tazuna. What? Why are you looking at me like that? He yelled. Are you going to tell us why the ninja were after you? Kakashi, nervous laugh. What makes you think they were after me? Kakashi looked over at Sai. Then with a completely fake look of surprise on his face, he said. Wow. Those lions look awfully hungry. Who knows what will happen if we just turned our backs for a moment. Tazuna seemed to understand what Kakashi was saying. Tell us, or we feed you to the lions and tell the Hokage the ninja killed you. Kakashi, in Tazuna's mind, said. All right. I'll tell you everything, one long explanation later. We really should call for backup. Kakashi said. So, you're not going to leave me out here alone? Tazuna asked. No. Despite you lying to us. I understand why you did what you did. Who would they send as backup, Kakashi-sensei? Sakura, probably Yugao and Naruto. It's what their team is meant for. The Hokage did say they were to be an emergency response team. But, does this really qualify as an emergency? Sasuke. Not yet. However, if this Gato hired any more ninja, it could turn into one. Kakashi, what's the call, Kakashi-sensei? Sasuke, Sai, send a bird back to Konoha to alert the Hokage as to what is going on. Hopefully, Naruto and Yugao aren't too busy. Sai followed Kakashi's orders and made a bird of ink carry a scroll back to the Hokage. Canon up until the fight with Zabuza. Kakashi was currently trapped inside a sphere of water. And he was slowly drowning while being forced to watch as his students tried to fight Zabuza of the Bloody Mist. Sasuke was managing to hold his own against a water clone of Zabuza. With Sai's help. When they all felt a disturbance in the air. Did anyone else hear screaming? Sakura asked. They nodded their heads. Even Zabuza. Sasuke, who had used the distraction to kill the water clone, looked up into the sky and saw an orange speck getting closer. Fast. Really fast. Shit. It's the Dobi. Everyone hit the deck. They all complied and dropped to the ground. Except Zabuza, he didn't listen. And Kakashi for obvious reasons. Naruto came crashing down with all the grace of a freight train. Incoming. he yelled, right before impacting the ground and sending out a shockwave that sent everyone a few feet into the air. And caused a wave to throw Zabuza off balance, thus freeing Kakashi. After everyone had gotten back to their feet, they saw Naruto standing in a small crater holding a very pale-looking Yugao. Once again, she pushed him away from her and fell to the ground. No kissing the ground this time. That's progress, right? Hey, Dobi, Sasuke yelled. What? I thought you were supposed to be a ninja. I am a ninja. Ninjas are supposed to be stealthy, you blonde bastard. Maybe you should try that landing again. I'm sure there are some people who didn't hear you over in Lighting Country. Naruto flipped him off. Bite me. And catch your stupidity. No thanks. Are they always like that? Zabuza asked. Pretty much. Kakashi, is she his Jonin teacher? Zabuza, sigh. Unfortunately, Kakashi, wow. My condolences. Zabuza. I'm sure she'll appreciate that. Kakashi, Naruto. Yugao said after finally calming down. Naruto stopped his argument with Sasuke to look at her. Yes. If you ever do that to me again, I'm revoking your ramen privilege. No ramen. None. Ever. Naruto started shaking in place. His eyes wide and vacant. Well, as entertaining as that was, I am still getting paid to kill ya. Sorry about this. Zabuza. None taken. All the ninja minus Naruto, who was still in shock, said. Zabuza figured he would do the purple-haired woman a favor and get rid of the blonde first. So he body flickered over to Naruto and swung his Kubikiribocho in a downward arc, in an attempt to cleave Naruto in two. Naruto's left arm snapped up and caught the massive blade with just his fingers, not letting the edge touch him. Zabuza tried to move his sword, but found that he was unable to make the blonde brat release it. No. Ramen. Naruto could be heard muttering. Zabuza put his foot on Naruto's side and tried to push him away while pulling on his sword. It still didn't budge. No. More. Ramen. Naruto was starting to tear up now. Hey, blondie. Let go. Zabuza yelled while trying to swing the blonde around. Neither Naruto or his blade moved an inch. Starts crying, Yugao-sensei. That's inhuman, how could you say something like that? The others were watching the situation with comically large eyes. Zabuza. Need a hand. Kakashi, shut up. Okay. Kakashi shrugged and went back to watching the scene. Sigh. Fine, Naruto. You can still have ramen. Provided you don't scar any more genin the way you did to Team Guy. Deal. Yugao. Naruto's tears dried up instantly. Deal. He chirped. Then Naruto looked to his side and saw Zabuza still trying to make him let go. This time he was jumping up and down on the blade's handle, going over 15 feet into the air with each jump. Naruto tried to make Zabuza fall off to the side. So he lifted the blade up and to the right, a little. The sudden movement caused Zabuza to mistime his landing and the handle went between his legs in slow motion. For everyone saw the moment the handle couldn't go up any further and it made contact with a certain part of Zabuza's anatomy. Zabuza's eyes went completely white as he sat there on the handle. Oh, shit. I'm really sorry about that. Naruto let go of the blade, causing it to fall to the ground, and making Zabuza hit that part again as he was still sitting on the handle. High-pitched whine. Everyone winced at the sound Zabuza was making. The guys all covered their parts, and the women looked at Zabuza in pity. Maybe we should just go. I think he's had enough for today. Kakashi led his students and Tazuna away, leaving Yugao and Naruto there with Zabuza. I'm really sorry about that. Naruto once again apologized. Then he and Yugao followed Kakashi's lead and left. A few minutes after they left, a ninja in a hunter nin mask arrived to help Zabuza. Zabuza-sama, are you okay? They yelled. No, I'm not okay. Zabuza said in a high-pitched voice. Is there anything I can do? The hunter nin asked. Ice, get me ice and sake, a lot of it. Zabuza squeaked out. Right away, sir. The hunter nin picked up Zabuza and rushed them back to their lair. Then they went to the village and bought all of the in sake. Before heading back once again. Do you know when you'll be able to walk again, Zabuza-sama? They asked. No. But when I can. I'm killing that blonde brat. Groaned poor Zabuza. Well, I have to end this here for now. The next part should be up later today or early tomorrow. Thanks again for watching everyone. Chapter 9. The two ninja teams had safely made it to Tazuna's house after walking for an hour. Though they had to pass through the village and see just how bad things were under Gato's rule. Everyone looks so sad, Sakura said while looking around. Yawn, that tends to happen when people are starving, Sakura. Kakashi, and that is why I need to finish the bridge, girl. Once I do, we can trade with the larger nations to support ourselves and remove Gato's monopoly on the other trade routes. Tazuna. I don't think this, Gato, will just sit back and let you finish building the bridge. Especially if it means him losing money. Yugao, he won't. But that's why I hired you ninja. I paid for both an escort and guard mission. Tazuna. He's right, Yugao. We were hired to do a job and we intend to complete it. Kakashi, sigh, and since we were told to assist you in case of enemy ninja. We're stuck here until he's done, aren't we? Yugao. Pretty much. Kakashi, after walking for another 10 minutes or so. The group arrived at Tazuna's house. Wait here, I'll go inside and tell my family who you are. Tazuna said before he opened the door and went inside. And the ninja were left outside in silence. Yugao-sensei, are you okay, now? Sakura asked after remembering how Yugao had looked after Naruto's Ahem entrance. Yugao looked at her and smiled. I'm fine, Sakura. Taps Naruto on the head. This idiot just gets too excited. And goes a bit too fast for me to handle. How is that possible, Yugao-sensei? You're an elite Jonin. Shouldn't you be the faster one? Sakura, Yugao got an odd expression on her face. You'd think so. But Naruto is a lot faster than I. It's because you don't train enough, Yugao-sensei. She heard Naruto mutter. Well, I'm sorry, I'm not a stamina monster like you are. If I was, maybe I could work out like you do. And be able to jump so fast and high that I destroy the sound barrier. Yugao. Guy regularly does that as well. Kakashi. Does Guy do it without chakra too? Yugao, what? Kakashi, sigh, yeah, that was my reaction too. Apparently, the blonde idiot over here forgot he could use chakra to enhance his body for so long. That his body adapted to be able to run as fast as Guy without using any chakra. The other ninja all started staring at Naruto. Hey, Dobi. Sasuke, what? Naruto, how, in God's name? Did you forget you could use chakra to enhance yourself? Sasuke mumbles, what was that, Dobi? I said. I slept through that class, okay. All I saw was the older ninja jumping around and flying across rooftops. And I thought it looked so fun. I decided to try it. After falling off of buildings, a lot. I thought that maybe I just wasn't strong enough. So I started working out even harder. My current jumping and movement speed is because of that extra training. So, you don't use chakra to enhance yourself. Sakura, try not to. Why? Sigh, hee. I can't control my strength very well if I do. My punches are too strong. That was when Tazuna opened the door. Good, you're still here. I was a little worried you would ditch me. Not until the mission's complete. Kakashi, good to know. Anyway, come in. My daughter and grandson are in the living room. Tazuna showed them to said living room. Once they were all inside. Tsunami, Tazuna's daughter, and Inari, his grandson, stood up from their places on the sofa and greeted them. Though Inari had to be told to say, hello. Hello. I'm Kakashi Hatake. Jonin of Team 7. With me is Sasuke Uchiha *HNN Sakura Haruno, hi, and say hello. Nice to meet you all. She said as she bowed. I'm Yugao Azuki, Jonin. And this is Naruto Uzumaki, Genin. We are the Konoha Emergency Response Team. Nice to meet you as well Yugon-san, Naruto-san. She bowed again. Hehe, you can drop the san. Just call me Naruto. He said with a bright smile. Okay, Naruto. She smiled back at him. Why are you even here? You people aren't heroes. You can't protect anyone. What was that? Naruto, I said, you are not heroes. You can't protect anyone. So why are you here? We're here because Tazuna-san hired us to guard him. While he finishes the bridge. Sakura. That's it. You're here because he paid you. Then how about you take your money and leave before Gato kills you? Inari yelled. Young, look, kid, I'm tired. And we've all had a pretty emotional day. So, how about we all go to sleep and talk about this in the morning? Kakashi. Oh, silly me. Let me show you where you'll be staying tonight. Tsunami said before leading them upstairs. Inari clenched his fists and glared at their backs until they were out of sight. Then he ran outside. And only Naruto saw him. Great. Another emo to worry about. He thought. Next day, what do you mean you haven't taught them to tree walk yet? Yugao yelled at Kakashi over breakfast the next day. Sigh, can you not yell so early in the morning, Yugao? Kakashi. What have you taught them? Yugao, he's been having us do teamwork exercises. Oh, and he also started us on a new workout regimen. Sakura answered. Yugao's glare got sharper and Kakashi was beginning to sweat. What kind of workout regimen? Yugao, he said it's the one that Naruto got started on. Sakura said before leaning closer to Yugao. You know, before he got carried away with it. She whispered. Groan, Sakura, could you go wake the boys up and tell them to meet me outside, please? Yugao, yes, sensei. Sakura got up from the table and headed upstairs. Kakashi, you're one hell of a ninja. Probably one of the best. But, you're a shitty teacher. She said before standing up and walking out the front door. Kakashi sat there in silence until the genin all headed outside. Then he stood up and followed them. After the genin formed a line in front of Yugao. She told them what she wanted. Sasuke, Sakura, and Sai. The three of you are staying here with me. So I can help you get a better grasp on your chakra control. Then she looked at Naruto. You're going to be guarding Tazuna, understood? Yes, ma'am, they yelled. Kakashi. You go with Naruto. Sai, alright. He agreed. The two of them left Yugao and the genin to their training. While they went inside to get Tazuna. 6 days later they were sitting down for dinner. Team 7, Team Yugao, and the Tazuna family. When Sakura noticed a picture that she hadn't paid attention to before. Who's that, Tsunami-san? She asked while pointing at a picture of Inari and Kaiza. That's my, choke. That was my husband, Kaiza. Tsunami said. She walked over to the wall and took the picture down. Her eyes grew misty as she looked at the picture. I'm sorry. Tsunami smiled at Sakura. It's okay. You didn't know. No, it's not okay. You can't just walk into someone's house and, Inari, that's enough. She apologized. Tsunami scolded him. Inari got up from the table and ran out the door. Inari. Tsunami went to go after him. I'll get him and bring him back. Naruto stood up from the table. I really think I should be the one to go. Tsunami, then come with me. I just want to have a talk with him, is all. Okay, she agreed and the two followed after Inari. I really am sorry, Tazuna-san. Don't worry about it, girl. Tazuna shook his head before he went back to eating his meal. With Naruto and Tsunami. The two had been walking through the woods for a while. Tsunami knew where Inari liked to run off to. When they heard sobbing. Let me talk to him, first. Naruto said. I don't know. I'm not going to yell at him. If that's what you're worried about. Sigh, alright. I'll wait here. Thank you, Tsunami-san. Naruto stepped out into the small clearing. The only thing in the clearing was a tiny pond and a cut-down tree near the pond, that Inari was sitting on with his fishing pole. Naruto walked up to the tree and sat down with his back to Inari. What do you want? Inari asked. The hostility in his voice was loud and clear. I wanted to talk to you for a bit. Well, I don't want to talk to you. So leave. Then don't talk, just listen. Naruto turned around to look Inari in the eye. He was your father. I don't know if by blood or not. But he was. He was also your hero. Don't talk as if you know what it's like. You're from Konoha. I bet the only thing you had to worry about growing up was what you wanted for dinner. What, did you become a ninja to get back at your parents? Naruto's eyes flashed red for a moment. Sigh, they faded back to blue. You're right, Inari. The only thing I really had to worry about was what I wanted for dinner. See, I knew it. After all, it's not like I had anyone to cook for me. So whatever I wanted I had to make myself. That shut Inari up. I've been an orphan since the day I was born. And the only people in the world that ever cared if I lived or died was my Gigi. The Hokage. And a father and his daughter that own a ramen stand. They were all I had in this world until I became a ninja. Once I did, I made friends. And one day, I decided that I wasn't going to ever lose the people I cared about. Naruto stood up for a second before getting into a push-up position. He started doing push-ups. I was told when I was younger that if I wanted to protect them, I needed to get strong. So I started doing this. All day. Every day. He got into the sit-up position. No matter what I felt like, or how tired I was. I did this. I did this for only one purpose. To never lose anyone. The way I lost my parents. To never let anyone I cared about go through what I did. He jumped up. I trained harder than I ever thought possible. And then, I trained even harder. Naruto's eyes had slowly bled red and his pupil turned into a slit. Because I choose to push myself. I'll push myself no matter how difficult it may be or how sad I feel. I chose to keep pushing myself. And if I lose my life protecting the ones I care about, then at least I protected them with my body, with my 2 fists. Naruto crouched to look Inari in the eye. My question for you, Inari, is, what will you choose when the time comes? Will you fight to protect those you care about? Or stand by and watch as it's all taken away? With that final line, Naruto's eyes returned to normal and he stood up and left the clearing. Tsunami, who had seen the whole thing, silently stood watch over her son for a few minutes, before she returned to the house. Inari returned after another half hour. With Naruto instead of going back to the house. Naruto went for a walk through the woods. He walked in one direction for about 20 minutes until he came across a river. This must be the river that leads to the bridge. He guessed. You're partially correct. A voice said. Naruto started looking for the voice. He found it in the form of a woman in a pink kimono sitting near the river. Oh, I didn't realize anyone was out here. It's fine. I just came out here to clear my head. The woman said. Can I stay here, or do you want me to go? You can stay, Ninja-san, thank you. Naruto said with a smile. I'm Naruto Uzumaki. Nice to meet ya. Giggle, I'm Haku. Nice to meet you, Uzumaki-san. Just call me Naruto. I hate formalities. Very well, Naruto. You know how this goes. Next day Naruto had overslept the next morning. So instead of him and Kakashi going to the bridge, Yugao and the whole of Team 7 went. Upon arriving at the bridge, they saw that it was covered in mist and the workers had all been knocked unconscious. Form up, team. The genin got into position. While Yugao and Kakashi stood in front of them. Everyone could hear 2 sets of footsteps coming across the bridge. 2 figures emerged from the mist. One was Zabuza Momochi, and the other was a ninja wearing a hunter mask. Where's the blonde brat at Kakashi? He's the only one I want. Zabuza snarled. He's not here, Zabuza. You'll have to settle for us. Kakashi, he and Yugao stepped up to battle. Kakashi lifted up his headband revealing his Sharingan. While Yugao unsealed her new favorite toy. Is that the second sword? Kakashi, sure is. How? It's a bribe from the Hokage to get me to stay on as Naruto's sensei. Ah, understandable. The 2 charged at Zabuza. Meanwhile, Haku had made their way over to the genin. Greetings, my name is Haku. And I'm here to kill Tazuna-san. Please step aside. Snort, not likely. Sasuke stepped forward. He pulled a kunai out of his pouch and charged. While Sai sent his ink beasts in his support. Tazuna's house over at the Tazuna house. Naruto awoke to the sound of yelling. Let go of my mother. Sound of flesh being slapped. The little bastard stabbed me. That was Naruto's cue. He accelerated while everything else slowed down. He quickly got dressed and leapt out of the window to land behind the man holding Tsunami by the throat. He grabbed the arm in question and bent it in the opposite direction. Crack. The man looked as if he was about to scream. He was going so slow. Naruto put his hand over the man's mouth and leapt into the air, carrying the man with him. At the peak of his jump, Naruto pushed the man slightly away. Then flip kicked him in the chest. Though he didn't move much right now, Naruto knew he was already dead. Kicking the air above him, Naruto dove back down to the ground in time to grab the knife the man was going to stab Inari with. He grabbed it by the blade and snapped it. Before uppercutting the man, sending him into the sky. Naruto's perception returned to normal. And the guy he left in the sky was sent flying off into the nearby woods at Mach speed. The other man was sent straight up so high even Naruto lost track of him. Naruto looked at Inari who was standing there with a bruise on his face and a small knife in his hand. I knew you had it in you. Naruto said with a smile. Inari smiled back at him. Tsunami-san, where is everyone? They went with my father to the bridge. Okay, I'll head there now. Is there anywhere you can go to hide? Yes. We can hide at a friend's house in the village for a while. You do that. Naruto started to walk away before he remembered something. Hey, Inari. Yeah, you protected your mother. I guess that makes you a hero now, huh? Naruto vanished in a burst of speed. My hero. Tsunami squealed while kissing Inari on the head. Mom. Mom, let me go. Mom. Back at the bridge, Sasuke was trapped inside Haku's ice mirror dome. His body was covered with Senbon. But he stood, unbeaten. Sai had already been knocked out after he tried to get inside the dome to save Sasuke. I asked you to step aside. Panting, I know. But if I step aside now, I can't call myself a ninja. Sasuke's one-tomo Sharingan was blazing in his eyes. Even though he could see Haku move, his body wasn't fast enough to react. Yugao and Kakashi were having a much easier time of dealing with Zabuza with the two of them. Though he was still an incredibly difficult opponent. And the two of them were driving him into a corner. I'm truly sorry about this, Haku said as they moved. The Senbon in their hand was aimed at Sasuke's vitals when smash. Naruto burst through the mirrors and caught Haku by the arm. He turned his body and slammed Haku to the ground. I'm sorry about this too. Naruto drew back to punch Haku when Haku kicked off the ground and flew into the mirrors. Now you're trapped in here with him. Naruto's eyes slowly turned red with a slit pupil. Not exactly. Haku would jump from one mirror to the next. Just in time for Naruto to break the mirror they had been in. No matter how many you break, I will just keep making more. We'll see about that. Naruto's speed increased even more. Now all anyone could see inside the dome was a streak of orange light zooming from one mirror to the next. Haku understood what he was doing then. He's trying not to punch me directly. When Naruto got used to his new speed, Sasuke with his Sharingan couldn't see Naruto anymore. All he could see was orange light covering the inside of the dome. Got you. Haku threw Senbon at Naruto while they were entering a mirror. Which is exactly what Naruto wanted. When Haku entered the mirror and left again, Naruto had finally gotten used to his new speed enough that he was waiting on Haku at the next mirror. And every other mirror afterward. No longer could Haku enter his mirrors as Naruto would always be there. Finally, Naruto had enough fun, so he decided to end it. He suddenly appeared in front of Haku, who was now trapped in the center of the dome outside of his mirrors. Bonk. Naruto knocked Haku on the head hard enough to knock them out. Hehe, that was fun. We should do it again sometime. Naruto threw down the Senbon he had been catching while chasing Haku around. He lifted Sasuke and Sai into his arms and carried them out of the now melting dome. Don't expect a thanks, Dobi. And don't expect me to say sorry, either. Yaimo prick. Naruto carried him over to Sakura, who was still standing guard over Tazuna. Thank you, Naruto. That earned her a smile. Anytime, Sakura-chan. That was when they all heard clapping. Even Yugao, Kakashi, and Zabuza, who had managed to hold out against the two of them, stopped fighting to find where the clapping sound was coming from. Bravo. Bravo. An excellent performance, I must say. A short man with gray hair in a fancy suit yelled. What do you want, Gato? I'm handling it. Zabuza, that's the thing, Zabuza. UARENT. So, I decided to keep the money I promised you and give it to these fine gentlemen. Several hundred men stepped out of the mist behind Gato. Laughs. Well then, Kakashi, it seems we don't need to fight anymore. If I'm not getting paid for it, I have no quarrel with you. I still owe that blonde brat of yours an a-skicking though. Kakashi and Zabuza both had a flashback to what happened during their first meeting. That's completely understandable. Hey, Tazuna. What, Gato? I have nothing to say to you. Where's that pretty daughter of yours? I told you already, all you have to do is give her to me and you'll never have to work again. I'll die first, you bastard. Alright. You die, then I'll just go take her. Laughs. He did not just say that. Yugao sat down. What is it, Yugao? Kakashi, that little bastard, did not just threaten to take Tsunami away from Inari, did he? Well, it was implied, yes. Why? Suddenly, killing intent the likes of which very few had ever experienced, came crashing down on them all. Oh, so you're Gato. Are you? I am. And who the hell are you, huh? My name is Naruto Uzumaki. Genin of Konoha. A genin. Laughs. You had me worried for a minute there. Zabuza. Could you get rid of this mist, please? What makes you think I'll do anything you ask, brat? Zabuza. Just do what he asks. You're about to see something very few have ever seen. Yugao. Oh, and what's that? Zabuza. A serious Naruto. Damn it, now I want to see it too. Kakashi. Alright, only because I'm curious now. He and Kakashi ran through hand signs and the mist dispelled in seconds. On one side of the bridge were Gato and his few hundred men. And on the other was Naruto standing by himself. The three Jonin had jumped off the side and ran around behind Naruto. Hey, Sakura. The blonde called out as he walked towards Gato's men. Yeah, I'd advise you to look away for a moment. I'm a kunoichi of Konoha, Baka. If they can watch then so can I. Don't say I didn't warn you. Enough of this. Get him then bring me the rest of their heads. Gato. Naruto Uzumaki. Serious series. Serious knife hand. One of Gato's men was just about to reach him when he swung his left arm across his chest. The force of his swing destroyed everything in its path. All of Gato's men had their upper bodies blown away. And over 3 miles of trees in an arc from the point he started his swing was destroyed. The devastation rendered everyone speechless, even Yugao who had seen him do crazy stuff before. And that was when Inari and the villagers showed up. Luckily from the opposite side of the bridge. Hey, Naruto. We decided we're going to fight for what we care about. Hehe, yada. Naruto gave them a thumbs up as his eyes and voice returned to normal. So, that's why you started drinking so much, huh? Kakashi. Yeah. Sigh, can someone please explain to me? What the fuck just happened? Zabuza. No, I'm trying not to think about it. Maybe after some sake. Yugao. To hell with it. I'm coming with you. I could use a few bottles of sake. Zabuza. Wait for me. Kakashi. Hey. Yugao sensei. Sigh. What, Naruto? Can I get some help cleaning this up? He motioned to the blood-covered bridge. No, you caused it. You clean it up. You are the hero, remember? Damn it. Naruto yelled as he looked around at the devastation he had caused. Thanks for listening. I hope you guys liked it. Don't forget to subscribe and leave a like for more what ifs and support the author. See you guys in the next video.